right, welcome back to Top 5 Vinyl, where we show love to vinyl owners. Today I'm here with Jason. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Uh, I think I initially met you on Instagram. Can you let the people know what your tag is on Instagram or any other social media you got going on out there?
Sure, sure. Yes, I'm very active on Instagram on at Grooveline Vinyl. Also have the same for TikTok, although I'm not as active there nowadays.
Hmm,
Definitely on Instagram and then a little bit on TikTok.
nice. All right, cool. And I'll put that information at the bottom of the screen so people can find you. And before we officially get started, I want everybody to like the channel, subscribe, all that fun stuff you guys got to do in YouTube land out there. With that being said, let's hit the rewind button, Jason. Did you grow up in a house with a record player?
So I did grow up with a record player. This was I was born in '82, so this would have been in the '80s, early '90s. We had the whole hi-fi cabinet.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it had a record player on it, but by the time I remember, we weren't really listening to records.
Okay.
Definitely CDs and cassettes. But it was
Hmm.
like, as a kid, we weren't really allowed to
Huh.
touch it.
Right.
We'd like
Right.
crank it up when mom or dad weren't home. But
Right. That's cool. That's
so,
cool.
yeah.
In the house, though, growing up, who was the primary listener to music? Mom, dad? How'd that work?
So my parents were divorced. And I would say my mom, but they ended up remarrying. So I have like step parents, but definitely my mom in my mom's house and my
Mm,
dad in my dad's house.
mm, mm,
Mom was like 80s pop, Janet Jackson, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson,
mm,
Tina Turner.
mm.
And the dad was classic rock, what's now called yacht rock. We didn't know that term at the time, but
Right.
Fleetwood Mac, Aerosmith, the Eagles, that
Mm.
type of stuff.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Let me ask this first one though. So, how hard was it? Because I see your backdrop. How hard was it for you to narrow down 5 records today?
It was hard, but I just kind of was like, it doesn't help. I'm gonna have to pick five. I've got I just was like, it's not like life or death,
Right.
I
Right.
want to represent my taste and represent, albums that I really, if I had to pick five and live on a deserted album, I think I
Hmm.
could live with these five.
Nice.
Was kind of how I thought of it was which five would I grab and just, run
Mm.
down the block with. So it was
Understood.
hard, but it was just like at a certain point, just make the decision. And luckily, I get to listen to more than these five.
Right. Right.
Uh, so that's the real gift.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Growing up, can you remember the first vinyl record that you bought with your own money?
So I didn't buy records really until I think it was about 2016 or 17.
Okay.
And so I didn't grow up. The first media I bought would have been like a cassette single,
Mm,
like Bobby Brown, My
mm,
Prerogative.
mm.
But the first vinyl record I bought was Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell United,
Mm,
which is the one that has "If I Could Build My Whole World Around You," "Your Precious Love," "Ain't No
mm,
Mountain High Enough."
mm,
And I remember just being so excited when I bought
mm.
that first record.
Yeah, that's cool. In your travels, do you have a favorite record store to go to?
You talking about here locally or just
Anywhere in the
any
globe?
any?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I feel lucky. I live in the Dallas area, and many folks may know there's a store called Josie Records,
Mm,
and it's a huge store. But part of what I like to brag about it is that they have, rare collectible records. They have new arrivals. They have
mm,
mid-grade, even the bargain bins, the 45s, the 12-inch
mm.
singles. Like there's just every time I go, I just always end up with,
Mm.
a stack of records coming
Right.
home with me.
That's cool. And that was my follow-up question. Do you remember the most amount of vinyl that you walked out with at one time at any store?
Definitely. So Josie does this sale where their $2 section gets marked down to a quarter.
Hmm.
So you can get four records for $1.
Right. Wow. What year is
And
this? Wow.
they still do it.
That's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
you gotta dig back there. But I think the like one of the first times I went, if I remember correctly, I think I bought 132 albums.
Wow. Wow.
But at most of them being a quarter, it was I don't think I spent more than $50.
And I guess the fun part was getting them back home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Carry.
Yeah.
Luckily, they keep the boxes there, so that's when I know I've done a heavy day of shopping is when they start looking around and let me get you a box. Like, oh,
Right, right. Uh, what album do you not own that you're dying to get your hands on?
great question. I would say like first press, early press of Funkadelic Maggot Brain.
Mm,
Huge Parliament Funkadelic fan,
mm,
and I love the both the debut and Maggot Brain. Pretty close. I actually just got one of the nice represses of the Funkadelic debut, but a clean first press of a Maggot Brain would be a real highlight for me.
mm. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. And have you seen any of your five perform live before?
Have I seen these perform? Yes, I have.
Okay,
Actually,
okay,
did I see one of them last year?
okay. And when we get there, you have to remind me which act that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason. Yep. With that being said, this is top five vinyl. Can you share the number five, the fifth album you have in front of you right now?
Yeah. So number five, an early '80s classic,
Hmm.
Luther Vandross, Never Too Much.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's my
Nice.
guy.
If you had to choose, is there a favorite song on the album?
So the title track obviously is what sticks out for a lot of people, and I would never turn that song off.
Hmm.
But the sneaky, and I think this is also like, if you ask people their second favorite song, I think "Don't You Know That"
Hmm.
is the one that because I think the title track is just so play like we hear that so much
Hmm.
when I go somewhere and I hear or when I play it myself, "Don't You Know That." It's just a little more refreshing because it's like, well, I hadn't had that. I hadn't heard that in maybe 4 weeks or
Hmm. Hmm.
4 months or whatever. But it's like that. So to me, as much as the title track is quintessential, um, I think "Don't You Know That" would be very high up there for me.
Mm, nice. And out of curiosity, any artwork in the back of that thing?
Any artwork? Same
Okay,
picture of it looks like the same photo, same
gotcha.
photo session,
Okay.
and no gatefold, just the. But I do have. Oh, I guess it's just a red
Mm,
as the original
mm,
with the lyrics, and I love the liner notes.
yeah,
I'm a big
yeah,
fan of reading the liner notes and
right.
finding out who
Hmm.
produced and played on records.
Yeah, it's always cool to see that kind of stuff. So that's your number five. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number four.
Number four, speaking of album artwork, this is probably some of the best out there. Parliament,
Mm, mm,
Mothership Connection.
hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
And
Very creative.
yeah, these guys were out there, especially at this time. This was a 75.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, this is about as good as it gets for funk in my book.
hmm. So I'm just going to assume you have not seen your five or your four live before.
Actually, well, you know what? I thought about this. So this is not the one I originally thought of, but actually, I saw Parliament back in it was pre-pandemic. I think it was 2018 or so.
Hmm.
Of course, it's not a lot. A lot of the band is either left. Unfortunately, some of them have passed away.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those like keeping the songs alive. George was there
Hmm.
and performing, but I always say it's interesting. I love these. I love Parliament Funkadelic. I love George Clinton. When they were wild and doing the shows, I would have loved to see that.
Right.
And they're still wild. Bad love to them, but it's not like if you just seen this show,
Hmm.
back
Hmm.
in the day, the way they run the show now.
Yeah, definitely not. The energies has shifted. I understand. All right, cool. So
Yeah.
we've seen your five and your four. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number three.
Number three. Now this is the one I thought about when I had seen live. I just got to catch Stevie last year.
Mm.
This is Stevie Wonder Musiquarium.
Hmm.
You can see too, it's got all of the. This is basically the greatest hits of the '70s. Oh, it even has this neat little insert in here too. Universal Fan Club.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is like a hits of the greatest hits of the '70s for Stevie, and
Mm,
then you
mm,
pick up a couple of extra songs, which until up to that point were released specifically for this. Do I Do, That Girl, Ribbon in the Sky, and I believe it's Frontline,
okay.
one for each side of the record. So you got four extra tracks, many of
Mm,
them, really nice.
gotcha. And was that a concert in the Houston area you saw him?
I was lucky. Or I say was lucky, but I made the executive decision myself. I flew up to Detroit to see him.
Mm, mm,
He didn't come to Texas at all. He mainly was on the East Coast. He did go to Atlanta. I thought about Atlanta, but when I thought I was going to travel for Stevie, I thought if I'm going to travel, why
mm.
not go to Detroit,
Right,
right? Like
right.
that's the place to see him. I'd love to see Detroit, and
Mm,
I had an incredible time. Met
mm.
some folks that I know through my Instagram page, and I joked that I got Southern hospitality up in Detroit. The folks are really lovely to me.
That's
So,
nice,
and then
man.
the Stevie show, he played many of the songs from this compilation here. Incredible.
Mm,
He still can play. He still can sing. If you get a chance to see him, he's still worth every penny you spend nowadays.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. All right, cool. That's your
Yeah.
number three. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number two.
So 2 and 1. I mean, all of these could be interchangeable, but definitely 2 and 1 could be interchangeable. We had to go. We went with Detroit. Now we're
Mm,
going to Chicago. Minnie Riperton, Adventures in Paradise.
mm, mm, mm.
Really love this record. And again, I love this artwork too.
Yeah.
The photo.
Is there a year in the back of that one? What year do you think that came out?
This was early '70s, I want to
Hmm.
say. It was actually '75 as well. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Nice.
yeah. This is unfortunately, we lost her way too soon. So this was, um, with I would say her at her height. I think she had a run through the late '60s, early '70s.
Hmm.
Really strong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Jason, for the grand finale, what do we have for number one, sir?
One of my favorites. So this, in part, I picked this one because part of what I said was if I had to pick five records to live on a desert island with, and part of my thinking in that was I wanted to pick like some of my favorite artists, and this is probably up there with the rest of these as a favorite artist. Curtis
Mm,
Mayfield,
mm,
Something to Believe in.
mm,
And this is, a lot of people would probably pick Superfly. They might pick self-titled Curtis. There's, a handful of great Curtis albums. But this one that has Tripping Out on it
mm,
is just, to me, in a way, hypnotic.
hmm,
It's just back picture of Carter
mm,
Curtis. But I could live on Tripping Out if I had to, just by
mm,
itself.
mm. Cool. All right, cool. I thank you so much for sharing your five. Jason, can you let the people know one more time where they can find you on social media?
Absolutely. Grooveline Vinyl on Instagram and TikTok.
Nice, nice. All right, cool, man. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
All right, peace.
Have a good one.